Okay, lights on. Get the YouTube subscribe emblem up. Let's see if that'll go. Awesome, come on, good. Get that up. Let's see if the light is ready. And we're gonna, oh, Jesus, please sneak up on somebody. God, I'm trying to set the mood for today's topic, but thanks for stopping in. Today I'm gonna talk about what Richard Branson said. Very important news for you because it's gonna help you right here, okay? Right after this. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today is episode 18. We're already over 1/6 of the way of the 90-day challenge for me to drop 50 pounds, and I'm feeling amazing even after that last weigh-in. And today it's all about the cardio session, because a lot of you think that I'm not into high-intensity interval training. I am, but that's when my joints and ligaments are feeling a lot stronger, and I've done enough of the LISS, the low intensity steady state cardio, that I feel I can start to turn it up a bit. Now, but let's talk about that LIIS cardio. That low intensity steady state cardio is so important. Now, also on the corner right over here, I'm going to leave a little tag card that'll take you to the episode 11, day 11, when I was talking about that and the importance of what it does for the brain. Very important. Always get that type of cardio in and make it your me time when you're alone. Today is Sunday, and it's a very active day for a lot of people to be coming in and doing cardio, paying for the sins of their weekend with their cheat meals, which is perfectly fine. And there's things that you have to think about. Now, I talked about how it stimulates the brain and how it makes it stronger and more effective. Let's talk about other people that it's done that to and what it's done for them. Okay, guys, so we all know this guy right over here, right? This guy is the famous Sir Richard Branson, world traveler, entrepreneur, billionaire. I think the last time they checked, or I checked, he was worth 5-point-something billion. That was like in 2017. Well, Richard Branson had an amazing saying and answer to Tim Ferriss, who I absolutely love. He wrote the 4-Hour Work Week and the 4-Hour Body, which are both incredible books that you should take a chance and read on them. I think you're going to love what you find in that. But Tim Ferriss talked about when he talked to Richard Branson when they were alone on the island, and they asked Richard Branson, they had an opportunity to talk about a lot of different things, and one of the questions was, Mr. Branson, what is your number one tip for being productive as a billionaire? You know, what's your productivity tip? And Richard Branson thought about it. He looked, and then he said 2 words. He said, work out. And for Richard, if you take a look at him, and if you know anything about him, he's all about exercise, getting the flow and oxygen to the brain, managing energy, not time, to be productive and to be wealthy of not only in monetary means but in mind, but to also manage that energy through exercise. Steady state cardio has an amazing way, as we talked about before on day 11 with that card that I showed you, take a look, has a way of keeping constant oxygen into the bloodstream, allowing the mind to expand and really breathe it in, and with that oxygen really helping to get those higher neurons working. Something you don't necessarily have in high intensity interval training with the cardio very intense, because you're so busy focused on maintaining form and keeping that breathing going, okay? Something very different. So the mind reacts differently to that. And like I said before, I take the time when I'm doing my low intensity steady state cardio to create things, to actually think about new episodes for this vlog, to create ideas and stuff I want to do with my family and my wife and my business, and how to expand the business and how to be more productive. All those come from my low intensity steady state cardio, and Richard Branson was very accurate, very true about that. Okay, now guys, I want to talk to you about my own experience when I was a very young man. I unfortunately can't say his name because I don't know what the legal ramifications would be, because he hasn't publicly aired this, but he's probably one of the greatest CEOs that I've ever had the opportunity to work for. When I was a very young man, I was part of an amazingly solid corporate retail chain, and they're world famous. This CEO took this one little closed store from San Francisco and grew it into this mega brand that is everywhere around the world that you see today. In fact, we are constantly surrounded by not only this brand, but the other brands that came from this retail store. Again, I wish I could tell you it, but it was back in the last days that I spent in retail in my young 20s, working on a district level helping out with spreading the brand name to the more wealthier areas of LA. Now, one thing I noticed is on Monday mornings when we do like a 6 a.m. call, and we're calling into him and we're checking up on him, he would be on a treadmill or some type of cardio device, just getting his blood going and sweating. And I assure you not, and I mean this, he would have these amazing split decision changes of plans that he would want to implement right there, which had profound effects on the business, not just locally in our district of Los Angeles and Hawaii, but all over. And when he would talk, literally we'd have like a outline of things that we were going to do for the month or we were going to do for the week, and he'd be running along and you could hear him panting. He'd have his ear mic on, and then he'd be like, Scott, what are we doing? How's that going for this first quarter, first week? Are we hitting the numbers? You know what? Scratch that. We're going to do something else. I just got a great idea. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And guys, I'm telling you, that was a common occurrence. That's when I started. That was actually my first experience of how cardio affected the brain and how it made him think on a higher level, maybe things that he thought of and ideas that he had before. Now that his higher functions were active and he was getting that cardio, and he made split decision changes right there on the dot, and they were amazing. The results were incredible. I implore you to try it yourself. Trust me, you're not going to be disappointed. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in again to the 180 and 90. I'd like to leave you just one more thought about the effects of movement and the brain. For all of you salespeople that are out there, and for all of you that have ever got into a very heated discussion on the phone with a loved one or with a work person mate, I think we all know that feeling. And whenever I myself have been in an intense conversation on the phone, what's one of the first things I want to do? I want to get up and walk around. Think about that. A lot of salespeople, when they're really in an intense call and they're trying to close a deal, they'll get up, they'll put on their head mic, they'll start walking around. I see people all the time when they're in an intense conversation on the phone with a loved one or something, they get up, they walk around, they're moving, they're talking. And think about the clarity that it provides when you're actually moving rather than just sitting there. So that's just an example of how we practice that, and our mind understands that, and our body follows every day. Now, again, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. I love being able to do these for you, even if it's 24-hour turnaround times and it puts a lot of pressure on me. So please, if you enjoy what I'm doing, go ahead and hit the like button. I would love that. Hit the subscribe button so that you can subscribe to my channel, which really pumps me up to want to make more content and more information, give you my 22 years of experience training people. And then, of course, hit the notification bell so you'll know every time I pop up a video, and you can catch it when it's fresh. And I will see you tomorrow on the 180 and 90 with my new workout for the new couple of weeks going forward. All right, Shaka.